Hello everyone. So I thought I'll probably answer this question on the community because this is interesting and a very simple thing to do in Jira. Now the question, and by the way, you may have similar question or you may have similar needs. So hopefully this will help you. Now the question from Pradeep is that how can I create two work logs for same task for both developers and testers? Now the question here is about work log, and in Jira the way work log works, you don't really need to have two separate fields to do it. You basically can just log on the same issue, and to do this you just need to go to a specific issue. It could be a story or a bug, and when you log your work you can basically do that if you have permission. So if you click on these three dots on top, and if you click on log work, you can log work, and any user can do it. For example, if I spent maybe 2 hours today, I can do that. And maybe if I reassign the issue to someone, or maybe this issue is sent to a developer or a tester, that person can also log their effort here. So basically the work log is basically something that people will add to the issue. Now the thing is that when you add a work log, by the way, if you want to look at the work log, you can see here the details, or you can see here the work log. So you have the information about who did what. Now talking about how to manage this, there are a couple of ways. And the question here is that if you have, let us say, a requirement where you develop something, you have a story. So sometimes you want to keep the testing effort within the same story, which is, to be honest, totally fine. Or you can separate these two efforts. Maybe you can create a subtask. I think subtask will probably make more sense. For example, you have a story, then you can have two subtasks and assign those subtasks to those individual people, or maybe developers or testers. But to keep things very simple, I think keeping just one issue and using the workflow, like different states in the workflow, you can manage it as well. And talking about how to capture the work log, what you can do is you can use a workflow validator to ensure that people are, because when you have a workflow, you have different transitions, right? So when you go from open to in progress, maybe you can make sure, or maybe when you go from in progress to send for testing, you can ensure that the developer is logging their effort on the issue. Same for the tester when they perform the testing. I guess in this case, if you want to have a simple workflow and you want to manage both development and testing efforts on the same story, then I guess you're not really doing a lot of. I guess you're doing simple testing, right? You're not really doing proper testing where you may have test cases. So for a simple scenario like this, you can simply use the work log and ensure that people fill it when they transition the issue, although they have the option to fill it anyways whenever they want. But when they move the issue from, or when they send the issue to someone else to look at, we can basically ensure that there is a pop-up, which is the transition screen, and people fill their effort. And you can do that very easily. For example, if I look at this workflow, now in this particular case, my workflow is very simple, like to do, in progress, and done. Let us say the moment you resolve, or the moment you send, or the moment you change the status to done, you want to make sure that you capture the time tracking information. So let us do that. For example, if I want, I can resolve it, and that is it. It is done, right? So there is no pop-up, or there is no transition screen, but we can fix it. So what I'll do is I'll probably go to the project settings, and after going to the project settings, I can then go to the workflows. Yeah, I forgot actually what I'm doing. So I will go to workflows, and then we'll open the workflow in the edit mode, and then we'll modify it. So what we want to do, we want to ensure that whenever the issue is moved from, let us say, done, so any status to done status, because I think the workflow is simplified. So basically this is a simplified workflow. So we can just click on this arrow here, and we have to add a validator. Now the validator is actually very simple. We need to ensure that we capture the time spent. So we can go to the field of required validator, and if I go to the add, I can then select here the field, which is what is the name of the field? Time spent. And by the way, if you are, I mean, you can use. So there are a few ways of doing it. Okay, let me add this time spent. Okay, so please fill in time spent. And to be honest, I mean, this is something that I'm just showing you. You don't have to do it, but it is more about, tell your developers that, they are logging their effort. But do take a look at, other validators. For example, we just added required, and I think there are similar validators. Of course, some of these validators might come from an app. I believe I'm using Jira Suite utilities, but you should be able to find something similar, hopefully. So let us submit this workflow and we'll test it. So we'll go back to the same issue where I want to now resolve the issue or move it to done status. And let us see if we are prompted by Jira to fill in the time spent. So I can do that. No, so it didn't work. It's a bit. So it worked. So basically, it is saying transition failed. Please fill in the time spent. Okay, so I did one mistake, and the mistake was that although we have this transition, we don't really have any transition screen. So this is something that you can do. So let me use a transition screen. I may have this one called resolve, I believe. So this should be, I have too many screens, which is really sad because I need to clean up my Jira instance. But let me publish the workflow and don't save the work backup. And hopefully this is done now, and I'll go back to my workflow and done. Okay, so now we have something like we have a proper screen. Now we can set the resolution. I can try to do it without filling in because I want to test. So this is now working, and I can add here to H and done, and now we are done, right? So this is a simple way to solve this problem. I mean, of course, I've shown you few things that you can do. And again, whenever you're using Jira, try to keep things very simple. Don't complicate. Don't try to do too much. If you watch my last video, I talked about don't do too many. Don't try to automate everything, although you can. But just because you can do a lot of automations, you shouldn't really automate everything. You should also, make sure that someone is reviewing these things and always on top of the work. And by the way, if you're watching this video, I'm happy to announce, I'll probably make a proper video on this, that my app, Stay on Top, is now on cloud. So if I show you, so just go to the marketplace, Stay on Top, and if you look at this particular app called Stay on Top, you can actually see this app which is on cloud. And you can actually using this app, you can get information about your app, or not the app, but your issue very easily. So using this app, if you want to, let us say, know the current assignee and reporter's email address, or if you want to know for how long this issue has been, since how long this issue has been created, and for how long this issue has been in the current status. So this is going to be really useful for I believe people who are trying to basically find these details. But of course, when you're looking at Jira issue, you don't really see a lot of information straight away. You need to do some work, and the whole idea of this particular app is to give you this information straight away. So do take a look at this app and let me know if you have any feedback. I would love to improve it. And of course, this app is a new app which I developed using Forge. Very simple app, but I'm feeling proud that yes, I was able to do it, develop it. And this app is already there this app is there on Jira server, but now it is on Jira Cloud as well. So it is basically a Forge app. All right, that is all I wanted to talk about and share in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.